Hey there, welcome to this unboxing of the Farberware 2 to 8 cup stainless steel percolator. On the box, it boasts that it makes things 25% hotter than traditional coffee drip makers. So I want to put that to the test. We're going to do that in a little bit, but I want to unbox it. And while I'm doing it, I'm going to let you know that this is a replacement Farberware percolator because mine broke. And we use it in the house a lot. It lasted about a little over a year. That doesn't sound like a lot of time. I think it could have been just been a fluke because my mom has one and we had to borrow hers, and she's had that thing for years without fail. It's been perfect. I think ours was just a fluke accident with it and it just stopped working. But they are very reliable. Like I said, my mom has had one for years and it is a trusted brand and I really like it. And let's see, okay, so good box. It comes in a bunch, the box itself has a bunch of different languages to let you know what you're getting yourself into and the important instructions. And it looks like it has this to keep it safe. It looks just like my old one. Has the markings on the outside. That seems new. I don't think the old one had that. And it also comes with this power cord. So you plug it in to the percolator and then plug it into the wall and then it percolates it. And we're gonna go test that out in a minute, but just right out of the box, this thing looks great. It looks clean. I'm gonna go clean it out and then we'll get started here. What do you think? Hey, again, I'm back. Before I clean this out, I did want to tell you about a couple of the pieces that go into the percolator. It's very, very simple. Obviously, you have the whole piece of the coffee percolator, okay? And then you have the lid that comes off. It sits there pretty good. It fastens on there. As you can see, when you take it off and when you put it back on, it snaps. It snaps so you know that it's closed, okay? As you can see, it has these kind of lips here that kind of hug on to the edge of it so that it stays closed while it's percolating the coffee. It has this top part here. I don't know exactly what this is called, but this is basically part of the filtering system so that when it's percolating, all the water's bubbling up, your grounds aren't getting inside your coffee. So this is the lid to that. And this is part of the filter here. Let me pull this out. So this sits right on top of that, okay? So you put all of your scoops of coffee in here in this filter part, and this goes on top so that none of that stuff comes out, okay? Nothing worse than getting all kinds of stuff unfiltered in your coffee. This goes in the percolator, so you insert this like this into there, and then there is a resting spot that you'll see that this sits in, so you know that once it's in there, that's where it needs to be. That when all of the percolating happens, it's in the right spot. Otherwise, it will bubble up because it's essentially when you're plugging this in, you're plugging it in to power it up to get this hot, this bottom piece that doesn't detach, and it's not supposed to detach, that is supposed to bubble up and boil your coffee, okay? So it bubbles all that up. So if everything's in the right spot, it's gonna stay there, the lid's gonna stay there, everything's gonna stay there. You don't have to worry about grounds and stuff getting in there. That's what's great about this filter. And you know what? What I prefer about this, personally, over your traditional coffee maker, like another brand that I won't say, but just the kind that you have to buy the paper filters and put them in there. You know, most households have those ones. Those ones are fine. They are inferior to the coffee percolator, and they are inferior to Farberware. Even though I did mention that mine broke, but you know what? With this one, I did purchase the extra 2-year protection plan, so it's good. And even on the box, it even says it has a limited warranty too. So the company itself gives you 2 years. And like I said, many times, they work so well. It was just kind of a fluke. But this gets the coffee extra hot. And with the other coffee makers, like I was saying, you have to keep rebuying paper filters, okay? That's no fun, okay? That's just, hey, let's take some more money out of you. That's what they're trying to say. Well, but this, all you have to do is just apply a little elbow grease, clean it, okay? Just get it wet, clean it out, and then you're ready to go. It's already up to built-in filter. What else do you need? All right, I'm gonna clean it out this time for reals and then come back. All right, so I'm back. Okay, so how I clean out the percolator first when I first buy it. And what I like to do maybe every month or every other month is I like to kind of just clean it all out to make sure everything is just going the way that it's supposed to, because you're brewing coffee through it all the time, and coffee stains, it gets gunky even the best you scrub it. So what I like to do is I like to go ahead and just put some water in it like this. This is a brand new one straight out of the box, so I'm not gonna brew coffee with it straight out of the box. Who knows what's going on with that. So I put some cold water in it, and then I'm gonna just plug it in. As you saw, I just inserted one end into the percolator. I'm putting the other end into the wall. And then within seconds, you're gonna start to hear the percolating magic. What? What'd I tell you? Under 10 seconds, you're already hearing it. So this thing is already working. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna just get the water boiling through, get it all through here. And that's gonna help just to kind of clean out the innards. I think that's just, just me personally, I like to do that. So instead of just rinsing it out in the sink. So I'm probably gonna do this maybe one other time. I don't fill it all the way up with water when I do that. I just do maybe 4 cups just to kind of get it, grease the skids, as they say. Then I'll come back again, and then we should have the coffee, and you can see what it looks like. All right, so now we're ready to make some coffee. The thing's all cleaned up. This is one thing that I probably should have mentioned, and it's maybe I did, but just in case. The port that your percolator cable goes into before you plug it into the wall, when you are cleaning this out, it is very important that you do not get that wet. Obviously, it makes sense, right? You don't want to get something wet that's going to go into an electrical socket. And even though this isn't directly going into the socket, this end is going into this, and this is going into the electrical socket. You could cause a short, or damage your coffee maker and stuff like that. So when you are cleaning this out, be extremely careful. You don't put the whole percolator in your dishwasher water and clean it out that way. Just you just need to pour out any excess coffee or whatever, and then rinse it out with hot water and just rub it, just scrub it, and that'll be it. So now we're getting to the fun part, the coffee. So I have some coffee here, and you'll see inside, actually no, that is a fib. It's only on the outside and the inside of the percolator. It has the markings for 2, 4, 6, and 8 cups, okay? I'm using this size, which I think it's about a tablespoon. So I use half of whatever it calls for. So in this case, I'm making 6 cups of coffee. So I'm gonna cut that number in half, and I'm gonna use 3 of these tablespoons. And usually for me and the strength that I like my coffee, I like it pretty strong. I don't like it, I like it robust. I don't like it strong. I like it nice and robust. So I put 3 in here. And so I'm gonna get the other part, and then we're gonna plug it in. Okay, so I have all the pieces. I had left them in my sink so I could clean it. As you saw, I put that on there. I am now inserting this right into the percolator, and I'm making sure it's perfectly where it needs to be. Getting the lid very gently. Hear that popping sound? That means it's closed. Plugging this end into the percolator and plugging this back into the wall. And again, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 5, 6 seconds. It's already doing its job. So it's gonna be percolating a nice, healthy 6 cups of coffee for me very soon. And then we're gonna see what it looks like. And most importantly, we're gonna see what it tastes like. Unfortunately, you're not gonna be able to taste it, but you'll just have to take my word for it. Hey, that 6 cups of coffee brewed pretty quickly, and actually less than 5 minutes. I didn't even get to finish eating the tasty sandwich I was making. So I have a cup here, obviously, and I'm gonna pour it, and we're gonna see my cord's a little bit short from where I have it up here. This is just for demonstration purposes, so I normally have it on my kitchen counter. So I'm just gonna pour it down here. It is hot, I can tell just by grabbing the handle, the heat emanating off of this percolator. It's hot. The percolator keeps things very hot. Let me just take a sip here. That is a nice warm cup. It is hot. This thing is disfiguringly hot the way it gets it. As opposed to your traditional coffee maker, which it gets it kind of hot in the beginning and then it powers off and then it just lets it be whatever it is. I never understand that. The percolator always keeps it as a nice piping hot temperature. It doesn't rebrew it ever. The only way it would do that is if you unplugged it and let it settle down for a bit and then plugged it up again, because the nice thing about this, it has kind of like a built-in safety, I guess. You couldn't just like unplug it and then immediately replug it in again, it's going to start brewing again, because there is no on and off switch. I guess that is a negative if you want to have some sort of sense of control, I guess. It will start percolating immediately upon plugging it into the wall, which is different from other coffee makers where you turn it on and off. This one doesn't do that, but it has a built-in thing. It won't allow it to heat up if it's still like already very hot. So you unplug it and then you wait a minute and plug it back in. It's most likely not going to percolate again, and that's good because it doesn't want it. You don't want to overheat it. Doesn't want it to go crazy. So this keeps it very hot. The other downside to that is that the coffee from this is best when it's extremely fresh, just like any coffee maker. So it's the downside of every coffee maker. If you leave the coffee brewing or just there for too long, it just gets stale or it gets too strong. Because it is keeping this very hot, it's also just keeping everything nice and compact and fermenting or whatever you want to call it. But you have no problem in my house getting rid of it, getting rid of the coffee and the percolator. And I think one of the reasons why the other one gave out, as I mentioned earlier in the video, is that during the whole pandemic that we had this percolator on overdrive. It was on 2 or 3 times a day, 7 days a week, and so it was heavy use. And I think that contributed to its sudden demise. Like I mentioned, at my mother's house where we have it, she's had that thing for probably, a decade with nary a problem. And she has 2. She has the 2 to 8 cup, and she also has the little 4 cupper, and they all work beautifully. And I've used it for years. Prior to this and prior to the one that had broke, I'd used percolators for years, and they really do make some of the best robust coffee. I highly recommend it, and I highly recommend Farberware. Don't get a second-rate brand. Farberware is the best. The reason why you probably know that name and recognize it is because it's got a reputation. So I highly recommend the stainless steel Farberware 2 to 8 cup percolator. Percolator coffee is awesome. Farberware is awesome. As long as you keep this clean after every use, you're not going to have any like dark stains in it. If you let it, you'd only make coffee every once in a while, so you leave it for like a couple days, it's going to stain because it's coffee, guys. That's just what it does. So if you just clean it out, it's going to stay pristine. It's going to stay nice and shiny all the time, which is what you want. And thanks a lot. I hope this helps you when you buy it. I highly recommend this. All right, take care.
Percolator is so good. It's so dark. Like, I'm not even kidding. I got it like what, a week ago, I think. And look, this is my second cup of the day. So yummy. I used this one. Very good. Medium roast. And I'll show you how it's like inside. Very good. 10 out of 10.